you better be really fucking good at a guillotine if you're going to be going for it, because you're giving up a takedown, especially when you just got held down the entire first round and then you go for it again in the second round. Like, that's a mistake. Like, defend the takedown, push his head down, get your legs out, keep the fight on your feet. Don't go for a guillotine. You know, like, it's very hard to finish unless you're really good at it. I mean, you've seen Charles Oliveira grab that guillotine on Arman that was tight and couldn't finish it. Like, I don't know. I think that's a mistake that a lot of fighters make. They go for that guillotine because it takes a little bit less effort and hopefully they get it. I mean, we saw Mackenzie Dern go for it a bunch too and get taken down. It doesn't work, man. And unless you proved it in the room a bunch of times that your percentage is very high, I recommend not going for it. I recommend defending the shot first.
Ilia has expressed interest about moving up and maybe trying to face Makhachev. How realistic is this scenario? Do you think, does it leave Tsarukyan in limbo at lightweight?
Stupid. He's not moving up. Like, come on. There's too many horses in the stable at 170.
I'm moving up.
Yeah.
Is he trying to run from Arman?
I
Is
do.
Ilia running from Arman?
I do think so.
Oh,
okay. That's
I do think so.
legit.
Hello.
But with that said, I think that Ilia Topuria
Who wouldn't want to run from Arman? Have you seen him perform?
I'm running from him currently. I don't even know the guy I'm running from.
I do think Ilia Topuria is the highest skilled fighter in the UFC right now, but I do think he is threatened by Arman. Arman's big, he's strong, he's great at the weight class, his boxing is clean, great grappling. It's a tough fight for him to where he can go to 70s. Maybe he doesn't get the win. It doesn't make sense to me. The only fight for Ilia Topuria right now is Arman.
Dart player TX says that's not a gator roll, that is a death roll.
A death roll, cool.
That's legit.
Awesome.
Hey, Coach
Bernardo,
Bernardo
what do
Sensei.
you call it?
That's legit.
Gator roll.
Gator roll.
Let's go, Gator roll, motherfucker.
Hater roll.
Black belt, jiu-jitsu, our head coach for grappling here at Santo Studio and JAXXON Media House. It's called a gator roll. But one thing I want to point out, TJ, was Arman's ability to come in with all the confidence, even though he had all the pressure on him, sitting on the sidelines, knowing how big of a fight this was, knowing that this guy obviously has the height advantage, the reach advantage. You could see the skill, the way he was even throwing elbows on the floor. He was there to destroy this guy and make it work. Like, it was the artist and the artist's work. Yeah. And you could see that. And like, one thing that I think is so different than most fighters was just not the gap in skill, but the gap in dominance. Like, it was such a dominant performance. We don't see that a lot, especially with all this lay and pray that everybody talks about.
Yep. That's why I wanted him to fight. I wanted him to remind the world of how good he was. Like, people forget. And you got to get out there and you got to remind them. And this is the best way to do it. And like you said, he wasn't laying and praying. He was looking for the finish the entire time.
I like how he's always doing damage from every position. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's fighting. Yeah.
Do you look at that, Frank, like when someone's in a clinch or a half guard, like how much damage they're still doing in any position they kind of put themselves in?
Yeah, because at the end, it's an attrition-based sport. It's whoever gets too tired, too broken up, too banged up to continue. So, the more damage you can do with the least amount of damage to yourself, that's a game. So, yeah, I love all these, elbows, the short fighting, the infighting. Where
You're a big clinch guy,
most
too.
people forget about it, and they don't do damage in those situations where you could do a ton of damage, and move your piece forward.
On one of the JAXXON Behind the Brand episodes, you did a really cool inside kind of technique where you talk about the clinch. Maybe you could just show the audience real quick. I thought it was very impressive.
Yeah. Well, I didn't wrestle, so this was half wrestling, half fighting. But for me, I never go past this point. So my elbow's always centered, it's always blocked, and I'm always trying to hold this fighting stance, even if I'm on the inside. And so that way all the strikes, all the mechanics happen the same, and I still have top control, and I can move that point if need be, but I'm not stuck, I'm not trapped, I'm not grappling.
Was this big, especially for the height advantage and the weight advantage?
Yeah. It made all the difference when you get with tall guys or long guys, because you can pull them into your game. If they don't want to wrestle you, if they're a striker, you can lower them. You can kind of pull them into a grappling / striking game and work inside of that game. And like we talked about last time, most people don't study the inside game. So they do one game or the other.
That close quarter combat game is so crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, unless you do it and you're comfortable and it flows, you just don't, it doesn't flow. So unless you practice and you get that kind of interaction with another body, you don't really know what really happens. But yeah, maximize, it's very damaging.